Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name is Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. An HBCU in North Carolina reeling from a deadly shooting yesterday. Officials say Elizabeth City State University not under any current threat or lockdown order. But Amy Kiley has more on the violence that unfolded as students were wrapping up several days of festivities.
I heard the gunshots through my window and through the walls.
One person is dead and 6 are injured after a shooting at a historically black university on the North Carolina coast yesterday.
It was scary for real. Like, I was over there talking to one of my friends and just seeing a lot of people running.
Elizabeth City State University says the person who died was a 24-year-old man who was not a student. But it says 3 of the gunshot victims attend the school, along with 2 others hurt in the commotion.
Just praying for them, praying for their families.
The school says none of the injuries are life-threatening. It says the shooting took place at the center of campus in the early morning.
It finally clicked, this happened right outside my door.
The university says it had just finished a multi-day celebration involving both alumni and students called Viking Fest.
I had left right before all of this had transpired, but I had heard the gunshots from my dorm, and then I had got a phone call saying that some people had got shot.
The school is near the border with Virginia, and it's part of the North Carolina University system. It enrolls just over 2,000 students.
We're a family. It's a small school, small HBCU, so everybody knows everybody. It's a small family, so just make sure your family's okay.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Closer to home, severe thunderstorms roared through the Panhandle Sunday, producing multiple tornadoes, large hail, and even a major train derailment along Highway 2. The National Weather Service issued what they call a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning, citing multiple observed tornadoes and hail as large as 3 inches in diameter. One large wedge tornado tracked across rural areas of southwest Cherry, northwest Grant, northern Garden, and southeast Sheridan counties. One twister was described as more than a mile wide. That's the one that derailed this train along Highway 2 near the town of Ashby. BNSF officials responded to the scene. The State Patrol also called in to assist. Early reports indicated about 130 rail cars were involved, but no immediate injuries were reported.
When the next severe weather event happens, don't get caught in the dark. Power your kitchen, HVAC, and communication systems with a Jackery solar-capable generator. Just click on our YouTube affiliate shopping tab and you're on your way.
Nebraska's National Weather Service gets set to be more fully staffed this week as Nebraskans who've already dealt with severe weather still wait for a response from the federal government. U.S. Representative Mike Flood toured Fremont on Friday, surveyed damage done by baseball-sized hail, which caused damage estimated in the 7 figures. This after Nebraska's congressional delegation last week submitted a letter to President Donald Trump asking for a federal disaster declaration related to storms that knocked out power to thousands in March. Governor Jim Pillen has been waiting for a response now for almost 3 weeks.
Statewide, we're looking at somewhere around $68 million in need, $2 or $3 million of that in Fremont, given the storm. Listen, we have a federal emergency management agency. It has resources appropriated by Congress. If we fit the criteria, we should get our share of the federal disaster money, and I intend to advocate for that in Washington.
Nebraska's request comes after President Trump denied Arkansas's request for a major disaster after an outbreak of severe storms and tornadoes there. FEMA's administrator last week issued a memo, meanwhile, listing recommendations that would result in the White House reducing the number of emergency declarations it approves, calling instead for increasing the threshold that states need to reach in order to qualify for public assistance. A California representative took in Nebraska over the weekend, coming to the central part of the state for a town hall. U.S. Representative Ro Khanna visited Grand Island for a question and answer session. It was a full house at the Liederkranz in downtown GI, the event held by the Nebraska Democratic Party. While the two parties have different sets of platforms they campaign on, the issues at hand presented to all Americans one of the most pertinent topics of the day: immigration.
There are voices that say we need at least 4 million immigrants a year to maintain the health and vitality of our economy.
Most immigrants who come here, I mean, yes, eventually they want to become citizens and vote, but most of them just want to know that they can work and have a peace of mind and not be harassed. And the problem is the Democrats, when we've had power, haven't been able to do that. They haven't been able to do it for the Dreamers. We haven't been able to do it for those who are undocumented.
For the most part, the conversation's calm and collected, contrasting some previous town halls by Republican lawmakers in Nebraska, but there were moments of anger directed toward the congressional member and the future of politics.
The dairy farmers are, the ranchers are, everywhere there's low approval rating with the Democratic Party. And I love my party and I will fight with my party and work with and continue to work with leaders. But it is over. You're losing us. It is time to wake up. It's my generation who has to do the job. We have to put the spit in fire to do what we have to do for America. I'm sorry. I'm pissed off.
I do think we need a new renewal of American leadership, and I've always said that term limits is one way of doing that. Our founders never intended for these to be lifetime jobs. And we need new blood, new ideas, and a democracy. But the central issue is also getting the money out of politics. Look, when Bill Clinton ran for Congress in 1974, he had to raise $40,000. Yeah, okay, even with inflation, it's not like the millions you have to raise today. And so young people aren't being able to run. People who are working class aren't being able to run. And so we've got to get the big money out of politics, and I would do term limits to try to get a new group of people in politics.
The visit, the latest in a series of visits by more left-leaning congressional members to the Cornhusker state, including U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, who brought a so-called fighting oligarchy tour to Omaha back in February. Well, for a third Sunday in recent weeks, a small group of people demonstrated alongside the Gage County Courthouse grounds in support of democracy. Doug Kennedy has more.
Roy Lobby of Wymore is a member of the group that has numbered as many as 30 to 40. He said President Trump is breaking the Constitution, and the group is standing up on issues such as the homeless, farmers, freedom of the press, and other concerns. He said generation after generation has fought and sacrificed to defend democracy.
And it's going to take we, the people, standing up en masse all across the nation, which we're already doing. Was it over 2 million last Saturday nationwide? It's a worldwide protest. It affects the whole world now, what happens in the United States. Once we all unite in one massive effort, then we'll see what will happen.
Some who drove by the demonstrators showed their support by honking. Lobby said there are others who disagree, but that's okay. Don Schuler of rural Wymore, a former county board member who also ran for state legislature, said the group believes the Constitution should be followed and respected, and that's not what's happening. He said he was participating partly because his father was a Korean War veteran. Schuler said people have common ground when it comes to supporting democracy.
We're still on the same side in believing democracy. And I know it's not all just one-sided. Both sides, both parties have concerns, and this is not just about the Democrat Party, it's for all of us. I'm personally, I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm an individual. I just do what I believe is best for the people, and that's what I want, and I may not always be right. I certainly won't be. Nobody's right 100% of the time, and nobody's wrong 100% of the time. And hate is rampant, and hate is demonstrated by this administration, and I don't believe in that at all.
The group has been demonstrating along the west side of the courthouse grounds for about an hour on Sundays. From Beatrice, Doug Kennedy, News Channel, Nebraska.
Fans of Jo-Ann stores will be disappointed to learn nearly 1/3 of the fabric and craft retailers' locations will close this week. The remaining stores will shut down next month. The company filed for bankruptcy last January. It was Jo-Ann's second bankruptcy filing in 11 months. The chain began going out of business sales. Those sales will end at the 255 locations around the country that are closing this week. The more than 500 remaining stores will shut down next month, including 3 in Nebraska. And recent analysis of the comic book industry found that over $2 billion worth of books were sold in 2023. And while it's a popular pastime, there's still a stigma associated with reading comic books, but a new event coming to Northeast Nebraska this summer hopes to dispel that. Walk the stacks of any library, and it probably won't take long to find something you like. And for more and more library patrons, the books they like are a little more visual than textual. Graphic novels, comic books, manga. These books draw in millions of eyeballs every day. And the Norfolk Public Library wants to celebrate the medium with their first ever Comic-Con this summer.
Comics and graphic novels for adults and for children make up a great portion of our circulation. So we've got a lot of readers that we know would be very invested in it.
The week-long event this June will cover all aspects of fandom, comic book creators and authors like Bob Hall and Lydia Kang, animators, even seminars on LARPing and Dungeons and Dragons, all designed to appeal to the youngest fans in Nebraska.
Youth come first, and then those adults that are the big kids at heart can definitely get involved.
The 6-day event culminates with a celebration at Johnson Park, including local vendors and a youth cosplay parade.
The fandom rules the world. Anything goes. They can be whoever they want to be for that day.
Oh, there it is. First comic book I ever bought with my own money. I was 12 years old at the time, spent hours reading all the books that are in this bin, despite the fact that there's a bit of a stigma associated with reading comic books. And organizers say that's one of the reasons they wanted to create the Norfolk Comic Con, to celebrate the fact that kids who read comic books are reading.
It still counts as reading. It very much counts as reading. So there's a lot of research at the forefront where we're learning more about how it connects visually, it connects, to the feelings and emotions of the readers. It's really a beautiful medium.
In Norfolk, Eric McKay, News Channel Nebraska. And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.